What's up, guys? Park here, and today we're not going to be talking about a good subject. We're going to be talking about a very downer subject. And while it's kind of depressing to talk about this, I think that in the back of your mind as a guild or raid leader or someone that is trying to put together a weekly steady group in order to progress in raiding content, this is something that you definitely want to be able to handle, to understand, and to just know how to navigate your way around. And that is losing raiders in your group. So just as a heads up, this is actually the, I don't even know, double digits of recording of this. I'd recorded it last night, and I rendered my video, and everything was ready to upload. And I'd taken a final peek at it, and I was like, it doesn't feel right. And so I was like, you know what? Let me get home from a normal 9 to 5, and I want to redo this because it didn't feel right. It was not good. So my apologies for that, and hopefully we won't have an issue like that again. But just to share with you guys a story, I was approached by one of my players on Sunday, and he whispered me and he said, "Hey, can I talk to you in Vent?" Which is never really a good sign on a day that you're not raiding. And he said, "Hey, can I talk to you in Vent?" So I joined Vent, and he joined, and I pulled him into the officer chat channel. And he said, "Hey, this is not a conversation that I am looking forward to having, but I need to talk to you." And immediately I knew what was going on. And, any of you guys that have experienced this before know what's going on. But he said, "Look, my schedule has changed recently to where I've gotten a promotion at work. But what that means is I don't have to go in for 2 to 3 hours later than what I go in now. But the flip side is I don't get off until 2 or 3 hours after I used to get off. And getting off at 8:30 and trying to get home at 9 o'clock to raid with you guys was difficult enough. Well, now I won't get home till 10, 11, 11:30, 12 o'clock at night." And I knew, and he confirmed it, I won't be able to raid with you guys come Legion. And it was disappointing. It's frustrating. It's one of those things where it's going to happen, but it sucks every single time. And then he said, "I have another thing to ask. I have been raiding with a group of players that raid at 2 o'clock in the morning. And if you give me the okay, if you give me your permission, I would like to raid with them come Legion." And I thought that was a rather strange request. But I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Their raid schedule fits. I'd like to move over to their guild." And I said, "Okay, here's my thoughts on it." And I want to share it with you guys because it's what I shared with him. You as a player are paying your, $15 a month, your $14.95, or your, 45K gold if you're in the US, and maybe double that in the UK to buy that WoW token. It's your money, it's your gold, it's your time. And if you're looking to raid and you're looking to clear current content with a knowledgeable and like-minded group, you need to find a group that accommodates you. And that's something that we've talked about before on here, is you want to make sure that you're finding a group that is accommodating your needs, your schedule, your needs, your wants, your desires. If they are doing mythic content and you just want to do normal and just see what's going on, you're probably not in the right guild. If you want to do mythic and they're okay with, whoever logs on, if we have enough, we'll try to do a normal or a heroic, not in the right guild. And so that's what I told him is look, there's no hurt feelings. I appreciate you, being upfront and saying, "Hey, my schedule's changed and I won't be able to make it. And because of this, I'd like to move over to another guild." Great. I appreciate it. But it sucks. It's one of those things that is it's depressing. And I hate it. I take it personally every time somebody leaves, regardless of the issue. Schoolwork, it came up, changing schedule, life change. It sucks. But the fact is that it happens. And the first thing that you need to accept, understand, and deal with as a leader, whether you are the raid leader, whether you're the guild leader, whatever, if you are in a position where you are put in charge or you have placed yourself in charge of other people, because that's what it is in World of Warcraft or any other guild, is you've placed yourself in charge. The first thing that you have to accept is the fact that you're going to lose people. The people that your guild starts off with right now is not the same group of people that you'll have come Legion. I can tell you with 100% certainty that the group that we have at the beginning of Legion won't be the same group that we have at the end of Legion. Some of them will hopefully stay. I can tell you that the guys at the beginning of WoD, a lot of them did not stay around. You know, you're looking at, off the top of my head, let's say a 2-year cycle. That's a long time for a group of people to stay together every week without issue, without losing a single person. People are going to leave. People are going to leave because, like I said, you're not progressing enough. You know, they want to be 13 out of 13 mythic, and you are 2 out of 13 normal. Or the flip side. You are sitting there going, look, I need you to run, your heroics and your mythics so that you're getting the gear upgrades and, you're getting your valor like we talked about in the previous video. And I need you to make sure that you have the best gems and the best enchants and that you are on 30 minutes beforehand so we can go over raid strategies. And I need you to be posting in the forums. Whoa, look, I just wanted to log in and do LFR this week. If your guild's too hardcore, people are going to leave. And then the fact is, people have this thing called life. Whether it is a schedule issue at work, at school, they are unable to do something because they have to take care of a kid, they have to be at work, or they're just simply burnt out. And we've talked about that too, where we've had some players that said, look, I've been in Hellfire Citadel doing the same bosses every week for the past year. It has been a year, come like the 24th. I'm tired of this. And I get it. As a player, I get it. As a guild leader and as the raid leader, it's not something that I can allow myself to give into. But I get it. People burn out. The second thing you need to realize is that some people are going to change their mind. They'll look at you and they'll say, look, it's not working out. I'm gonna move over to this guild. And then they log off and, they do that thing where they immediately log off. And then they come back online and they go, maybe I should stay. Or you reach out to them and you say, hey, what's going on? Here's the deal. And they go, I think I'll stay with you guys. That is going to be the people that aren't happy. If you look at someone that has a schedule or life change, let's be honest, for the vast majority of people, hopefully, if you have a schedule or life change where, you have to decide between something like work or school or taking care of your husband, wife, baby, sick grandma, whatever the case might be, or playing WoW, please pick not playing WoW. So if you are able to convince or change the mind of somebody who was looking to go, the only people that you're going to convince to stay are the people that aren't happy. And that's going to make things really uneasy. And that's something that you need to keep in the back of your mind is they are putting you and your leadership in your guild on probation. And if there is any slight that they feel, they're going to leave because they were already ready to leave. So what's the problem? What's the hurt in that? And the thing is, if you convince someone to stay and they are unhappy, they say, look, we have been in Hellfire Citadel for a year now, and we're still 2 out of 13 normal. Why are we not in Heroic? Why are we not in Mythic? Etc., etc. They're going to expect for you to bend to their will. This means if you have fostered a guild that only does normal content, and someone wants to do heroic content, and your choice is either do it or lose them, they're going to expect for you, if they stay, to do what they're asking you to do. And in the long term, that is a bad idea. That is not a good idea because they will continue to expect it. And people deep down, not maliciously, but they will recognize the fact that they can manipulate you. They can say, hey, look, I'm one of your top DPSers, and, I'm going to leave because I can go to this guild and get this gear, unless you want to master loot it to me the next time it drops. Forsaking all the loot rules that you've used for, however long, or, whatever the case might be. People will manipulate you because they know that you can bend. And let's be honest, and apparently the dog is going absolutely crazy right now, if you are in a position where you have a member of your guild that is looking to leave, they've kind of talked to you and said that they're unhappy, that they want to do something else, and you say, look, what can we do to make you stay? And they give you their list of demands, and you do it. You bend to what they've asked for. They're still looking. Let's be honest here. They're still going to be looking for that greener pasture somewhere else. They're going to be looking to see what they can get from somebody else. So you don't want to keep people like this. Those that you convince to stay, more than likely are not going to stick with you in the long run and are going to be cancerous to your guild and your raiding group while they are still there. Because they're unhappy and they don't want to be with you. So why keep them around? So we've accepted the fact that people are going to leave. We have to do that. So what we can do, instead of trying to go through all these stages of begging and pleading and bargaining to keep people in, let's learn what's driving people out. You can get mad, and a lot of people do this. You've seen videos, online of people just going crazy at other raiders, other individuals, because look, I don't want to raid with you guys, and the guild leader, the raid leader goes ballistic. They start yelling, they start saying horrible things. They completely okay, this guy says he's going to leave. I'm just going to ignore him. I won't talk to him one bit. Or, okay, let's go on a guild kick spree where we'll kick him. We'll kick all of his alts and we'll kick him and haha, you can go fuck yourself and we win. It doesn't really produce anything. It's not very productive. I mean, what have you gained in the long run? You add stress on yourself because now you're pissed off. Your blood pressure's up. You're yelling, you're screaming, you're going through, furiously kicking out people, and it's not a good emotional state to be in. People see that, other guild members go, whoa, what the hell is going on? Drama, and nobody wants to deal with that. And if it continues to happen where, every time, and like I said, if you are continuously raiding, people are going to leave. It's going to be a consistent, constant thing. It might not be every week, but let's be honest, you're going to lose a person every once in a while. And people are going to realize, okay, this dude just goes off the chain. He's a loose cannon just yelling at people. He's guild kicking all of their alts. For what? Because someone was honest and said, hey, I would like to progress further, or you guys are too hardcore for me, so maybe I'll find a different, not better, we're not saying better, a different group, and maybe I'll keep an alt in here. And you go crazy about it. We don't want to do that. It's stress that we don't need in our life, and we don't want to do that. So instead, what we can do is, if we're approached on this situation and somebody says, look, here is the reason why I cannot play, talk about it. Talk about why they want to leave. If it's something, obviously, hey, I work a new shift at my job now. Okay. There's nothing really to glean off of that. If it's, I need to take care of, sick grandma, okay, nothing you can glean off that. You guys are too hardcore. I was not expecting to have to get the best gems and enchants, and I didn't realize that the skill, was trying to push 13 out of 13 mythic every week, and we're going to raid 5 nights a week, and that's just too much for me. Okay, now you've learned something. Or, here's the deal. Your DPSers aren't switching targets, and I'm carrying the brunt of the DPS, load, and I'm tired of doing all the work and not getting the credit, and the other DPSers are just kind of skating by. That most definitely something you can glean off of that. And that is something that you can very quickly learn and you can implement improvements. And that's what we're going for here, is we're not looking to talk this one person into staying, but instead we want to figure out what makes, or made rather, that person happy, what made that person unhappy, what can be improved on, and consider the changes you can make. Now, let's be honest. Sometimes, and this is the slight section where I will talk directly to my raiders. Not my leadership folks, not my guild leaders, not my raid leaders. I log in, I join the raid, I pew pew, I log off, whatever. A lot of the times, things are said, things are thrown out. They're considered, but they're not implemented. And for a lot of people, there is this conception that, if I throw out an idea or a suggestion or a complaint, it needs to be immediately resolved, with the most, quickest resolution possible, that you need to be thinking about it right now, regardless of the priority of everything else, because it was my suggestion. And that's not reality. Reality is, as a leader, your job is to take that feedback to go, okay, here's what I'm being told. Do I need to make a change? If so, how can I make a change? Is this a change that needs to happen? Or is it one person that's just bitching, moaning, complaining? And most of the time, it's that. It's someone is bitching, moaning, complaining, and there is no change that is needed. But maybe you do need to make a change. Maybe you have let your DPSers get away with a lot more than they should. Maybe you've let your tanks, take over the raid. Whatever the case might be. Whatever people are uncomfortable with that you are uncomfortable, or you used to be uncomfortable with, maybe you can make some improvements and changes. Some of those ideas, like I said, are going to be crap. Some of them are going to be good. A lot of the information you need to learn from and ponder on and think about and kind of sleep on, and then use it going forward. What can I improve on? What can I change? What did this guy like that I should really do more of? Stuff like that. There is this thing that we do at my normal 9 to 5, where if someone leaves, and that is a fact when you're in real life management as well, is you want people to leave. You want people to go move on to bigger and better and brighter things, because that means they're getting paid more, better opportunities, all this good stuff. It sucks. It's the same feeling. It sucks. But on a personal level, you're like, okay, that dude did this for me, and now, years later, he's making, $20,000, $30,000 more a year. Good for him. But there's something that we do at work, and a lot of places do this, called your exit interview. So it is exactly this concept. We sit down and we kind of talk about, what do you like, what do you not like? And one of the big complaints that I got from one of my technicians, and I don't know if I've even mentioned this, but my normal 9 to 5, my normie job is I am a manager for a group of technicians for a very large company. I'm the guys, my team are the folks that come out and we fix your stuff. And one of the guys had gotten a far better job, and it was something that he was looking forward to. And during the exit interview, I asked him, I was like, okay, what are things that you would like for me to have done? And he said, look, toot toot, you were a great manager. The one thing that I did not like was that sometimes either you or, other managers would say, hey, you guys need to improve on this, or you're doing this wrong and it needs to stop, as a whole. But I never knew if it was me that you were talking about or if it was somebody else. When you tell us, hey, you guys are doing this process wrong and it's causing these issues, I would think back and get worried, was that or was that not me? And that's the kind of stuff where after that, I was like, he has a point. It really is unfair to kind of generalize, get out in general pop, hey, you guys are screwing up on this and it needs to be fixed, without being, open to the person that's causing these issues and going, hey, look, John Doe, I let the team know, but you're the one that's screwing up on this, and you really got to fix it. And so that's what I'm talking about is learning from that and use it going forward. And then the last thing is you don't want to burn your bridges. You don't want to go into that ballistic, angry, mad, let's kick everybody out and, screw that guy and I'll kick his alts out and I'll kick his alts out. And, he won't even be able to make a character because I'll kick him out of every guild he's ever been in. Because people might come back. Whether it is, there was drama and something happened and they kind of had a few days to cool off and they realized you were right and I was wrong. Or they realized, I thought I wanted to do Mythic or I thought I didn't want to do Mythic. And now the itch is there or it's gone. And, I've realized that you guys were really the place for me. Or whatever the case might be. People might really want to come back. You might find yourself in a position where you need them. And what I mean by that is if you are looking for a new guild, let's say, hopefully this doesn't happen to you in a leadership position, but your guild disbands or you decide to move on yourself and you see, okay, I was the raid leader for, one of the officers for this guild, this raiding guild. And I've since decided to, the progress isn't there or it's too much and schedule changed myself. I want to move to this other guild. But I kind of said some pretty bad stuff to the guy that's in there and he's probably not going to do me any favors. And that's what you want to avoid, where you can go to this guy and you can go, look, here's what happened and, do you guys have a spot? I would love to join you guys. And you can pull on those little relationships that you've built up. Where you can go, hey, I need something from you. Remember when you were in my guild and I took care of you and there was no drama and everything was good? And in general, even though, this guy is leaving and has left the guild and people are going to leave, you're going to have people to play with. If you sit down with somebody and let's look at it for another minute from the raider perspective. You think on it, you ponder on it, you sleep on it, and you go, look, I think it's time for me to move to a different guild or to drop this raid group that I'm in, that they're just, it's not working out. It's me, not you. And they come to you as the guild leader, the raid leader, and they go, okay, it sucks, but, what do we do right? What do we do wrong? You go, wow. Okay. That's cool. I wish you guys had done this more. And whoever's there goes, yeah, I can see that. That makes sense. Okay, what else? And you really, this open communication, well, then you might start to realize, this dude's not too bad. I kind of want to continue to play with him. Maybe we have an open spot tonight for a raid, and we need another healer, and you're the healer. Or, maybe, whatever the case. You build these relationships and you have these people to call on and these people to play with and these people that may end up coming over because they are looking for somewhere to go. And that relationship is great because there was no drama. There's no issue, and they were willing to talk from a leadership perspective and you were able to provide feedback. So that's as the point of view of the raider is something like that. So with all this being said, hopefully you guys like the content that I'm spewing out here. If you do, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Both of those things encourage me so much more than you guys understand to continue to make the content that you see here. And until next time, guys, I'll see you.